Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we have a very interesting video. It's a little different, but you know, I love business. You know, I like being transparent with you guys. You know, I like showing how business works as a self-employed musician, a YouTuber, and I just like showing you the insights because if you're interested in doing something similar, well, now you have some information. So I was just kind of calculating some stuff on my channel this morning, and I was like, and I found a very funny statistic. I think you guys are really going to find this interesting. But to talk about it, I'm going to have to give a little bit of information. So the way that one of the revenues that you have as a YouTuber is something called Google AdSense. It's ad revenue from Google because Google owns YouTube. And what it is it's AdSense from YouTube. So essentially, every time you watch a video and you see an ad, that advertiser is paying Google, or technically YouTube through Google, to be on your video. So, for example, say Coca-Cola wants to be on my video, they will pay Google to be on a Jacob Restituto video, or to get to you, essentially. So this is actually super unique. Say 1,000 people watch my video, there might be 1,000 different ads on that video because it's tailored to you. So one person might get a Coca-Cola ad because you search Coca-Cola. One person might get an ad for Nike sneakers because they're looking to go run, and another person might get a workout ad. So it's really interesting because it's all based on the viewer. So there might be you're all probably watching different ads on the channel. So now, with what happens is YouTube splits that revenue with you. So if say they pay what something called cost per milli, what they pay per 1,000 views, 1,000 views. So this is very interesting. So I was looking at this morning, and what's interesting, I don't even need these. I don't know why I put them on. But what's funny is, and what's interesting about YouTube is, based on your viewer, your RPM, your CPM, which is like rate per milli, or revenue per milli, or cost per milli, changes. Like certain finance channels, because you know you're willing to spend a little bit more money on a finance channel because of who's watching it, or certain videos because there might be an older demographic who has a little bit more money, who's able to spend more money, versus some videos that maybe it's a younger demographic that might not have as much money to spend, so that the rate per that you get paid is less. It's so fascinating how YouTube works. So for example, let me show you guys this. This is my rate per milli that I was looking at past 28 days. So what the revenue, sorry, RPM is not rate, it's revenue per milli, is how much you get paid per 1,000 views. So that's what we're going to be talking about in this video, is how much per view. I wanted to calculate how much I got paid per view, and this is very funny. So it's a rough estimate, because what ends up usually happening is usually my estimated amount that I get paid each month from YouTube is always less than I actually get paid. It seems to be more in my actual bank account than what they estimate, and I think that has a lot to do with the disputes that I have to claim, like the reaction disputes when I use other people's songs, the copyright claims, because some end up going through, some end up not going through. So I think I'm not entirely sure about this. So we're gonna take this as a rough estimate. So RPM, revenue per milli, revenue per 1,000 views. So on every 1,000 views that this channel gets, about, is $1.02. Sorry if we got a little too heady for a second. It's a decent amount of math, a decent amount of marketing. $1.02. So that means that every 1,000 views that this channel gets, or 1,000 views that are eligible for earning, is $1.02. So now let's do a little bit of math. So we have my calculator that we pulled up. Let me just pull up my calculator. So, okay, so if we take $1.02, 102, nope, and we divide that by 1,000 views, that means this is going to show you how much per 1,000 views, per view my channel is getting. So if we see this, that means that I'm getting 0.001 of a cent, I guess. So technically 1/10 of 1 cent per view from YouTube. Oh, it's funny, man. And that's part of the reason I put out so much content, because man, I'm trying to make a living out here. So that means on average I need about 10 views to make 1 penny. But now that doesn't account for super chat and stuff, or actually I don't know if it does. I don't know if it counts for super chat, but super chat or Patreon or sponsorship. So like, I just want to show you this because it was funny, but it's also interesting to kind of calculate. But now this is the crazy thing. Like, so there are some YouTubers I've heard that get somewhere in the $9 range. So if you divide 9 by 1,000, That means for every, oh, that's, it's still not that crazy, but it's still 9 times more than mine. So for 1,000 views, if I get $1, they're getting $9. For 10,000 views, what I don't know, what is that, my math, I don't know, 10 multiple. So I would, for 10,000 views, I get $10, or $10.20 technically, and they would get $90. You know, so it's really fascinating, depending on what industry and depending on the kind of videos you make, to see how much money you actually make. But it was fascinating. Now, I don't. This video can come off as discouraging, but that's not the point of it. The point of it is, it was just very fascinating. I wanted to share it with you guys. But I also want to share with you that it is possible. Like, hey, this is my job. I quit making money from tutoring. I quit working at my parents' office. I quit all my other stuff, video gig, because it's paying me enough. So when the views get up there, you know, things start to work out. I mean, and that's why you could see, if I go back to my screen, my small screen over here, that's why we're averaging about 2.4 million views a month right now, and that's why you can see the estimated YouTube revenue is close to $2,400. I mean, that's not bad. Now you can start to calculate. What's it called? Sponsorships. You start to calculate Patreon. You start to calculate all this other stuff that starts adding in. You're starting to make a living, you know, and it's super fluctuating, you know. And now what we're gonna go really quick into a little deeper for 2 seconds, and then we're gonna adjust. But what's interesting is you can actually see on you, like, it's super fluctuating. So, you know, November was, you know, 21, then we had 26, then we had 29, then we had 35, then we had 16, then we had 22, and then now we're back up at 23, and this month obviously isn't over yet. But depending on who's watching, your age group, or your, like, so for example, this Tim Faust interview, this is interesting too, it depends on how long your videos are. The longer the video, the more ads are in your video. So this Tim Faust interview made me $120. That's kind of cool. You know what I mean? So, and that's at least in the last 28 days. So, I don't know. I thought that you might find that interesting. It's a little bit of the back end of how YouTube works. And the more views you get, your channel gets, the more money you make, essentially, depending on the content you make. Now, this is the important thing. I recommend, what I try very hard not to do is I try very hard. There's so many videos out there that I could do that would make me more money or get me more views, but I want to be true to who I am, because I'm playing a long game. I'm looking to be here forever. You know what I mean? I'm looking to make a career. I'm not looking to make $10,000, $20,000 this month and then that's it. You know, that's short-term thinking. I'm looking, because I could sell out, you know, and make that money. But I'm like, you know what? I'm making enough to pay my bills. I'm making enough to save money. I'm making enough to invest in my future and invest in the business and invest in other things like stocks and savings and IRAs and stuff. So there's no rush. I'm making enough, and as the income grows, I'm not going to try to rush the process by trying to make a quick buck. You know, enjoy the process. Start off small. I'm going to post another video soon about my process of, like, how long it took and the growth of views and stuff. But it took me years. I dropped out of college 7 years ago, and now finally, this month was my first month as a full-time musician YouTuber. So it took me 7 years to get here. But one day at a time work. Hey, you know, it could take you 7 months. There have been channels that I've seen that blew up this past year, and it's amazing, you know. So I'm happy for them. And you never know. You could blow up in a month. You could blow up in a year. You could blow up in 10 years. Who knows? But just if you keep the work in, it will pay off in the end. So a little bit of insight, a little bit different of a video today, but I really love this kind of stuff, so I figured I'd share it with you guys. I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.